All right, hello everyone. This is Thomas, and welcome to my channel. I run a business called Model Alternative School Services, MASS, where we create and distribute educational products, books, videos, audiobooks, articles, courses, and other materials. One thing MASS specializes in is a thing called the Tree of Life. You can see a diagram of it right here. This is the Tree of Life. It's what it looks like. You've probably seen it before. You probably heard people call it the Kabbalah and so on. But I have a kind of a unique take on it, and I use it kind of as a basis for a lot of my different subjects that I teach and that I cover. So, if you want a quick overview on the Tree of Life, check out my video that is called Tree of Life, an Introduction. And, you may want to take a look at that before going any further in this video, but hopefully I'll be able to cover that without any prior knowledge of Tree of Life. Okay, so with the Tree of Life, I've added another dimension to it, which I call the MASSTree. And the tree, is a really great tool for analyzing all aspects of life once we get the hang of it. There is a learning curve, and that's what I made the MASSTree for, is to kind of get you through the learning curve, teach people how to operate the Tree of Life. So while you see the tree has 12 different categories, you can see they're numbered 0 through 10, plus like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then there's an abyss here, and then there's 3, 2, 1, 0. So 0 through 10 is 11, plus one more is 12. So the tree has 12 categories, which are our faculties of consciousness. What the MASSTree does is it breaks the tree down into 144 categories. So they're fractal faculties, if you will, that are our phases or stages in life. So you can also click the link below if you'd like a free copy of our guide to these 144 stages. It's an annotated guide to the 144 stages, our fractal faculties of the tree, of the MASSTree. MASS is putting out a short series of videos on the tree to demonstrate its power and flexibility. It is literally a panacea that can be used for seemingly anything in the realm of consciousness. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to answer that question. How can the tree help us navigate divergent pathways in life? Well, what are pathways? Let's try this quote here from Daniel Ingram from his book, Mastering the Core Teachings of the Buddha, Part 2, or second edition. Clearly, plenty of the pathways people go down seeking enjoyment do predictably lead to more suffering than they produce pleasure or fulfillment. So kind of following along that definition, a pathway really just represents an important choices in life that we have, that we're faced with, routes that we take that change the whole trajectory of our lives. Often, once we make these choices, we can't look back. There are no do-overs. Not always, but often. The tree of life gives us a roadmap of the various archetypal pathways, so we are able to prepare. Because it is a lot easier to make good choices when we know they are coming. And the tree of life is also a spiritual map of the terrain. Uh, on the tree, pathways are generally under the jurisdiction of the seventh and sixth spheres. So right here, this part of the tree, 7 and 6. This is kind of where a lot of the choices that we make, important choices that we make, end up. And so that's what we'll be looking at here. Some of the various stages or fractal faculties within the seventh and the sixth sphere. The seventh sphere of the tree of life guides us through our individuation from the herd, where we move out of the herd and become more of an individual. At the seventh sphere, we wake up to unsatisfactory things in life and try to come up with solutions to them. It's where our creativity comes in, also imagination, imagining a better world. Those are all things under the seventh sphere. Pathways at the seventh sphere include stage number 39, which is called minimal compliance, where we decide which battles to fight. We arrange our priorities and decide that there are some battles that cannot be fought right now, but require conceding temporary lip service to the mandates while we build up reinforcements. So this is a unique pathway that gives us agency as opposed to just going along for the ride, and engages us in figuring out what kind of life we want to live for ourselves. The minimal compliance is, you can think of it kind of as a weapon of the weak, where you're deciding that this is a battle I can't fight right now. But the main point is that while you have been realistic about it, saying that this is a battle I'm not going to fight, you are in the background making yourself stronger so that it will be a battle that you can fight. But at this point, you've kind of relegated this battle to, this is a battle I can't fight. Another pathway here at the seventh sphere is number 42. That's called realization of waste. We pinpoint the frivolous and wasteful things in our own lives. We take the habits and beliefs we grew up with and deconstruct them, scrutinize them, asking, is this current path really beneficial for me or others? Or is it really a harmful path and in need of change? So that's number 42, realization of waste. Another example from the top of the seventh sphere is stage number 48, called pointing to a mission. Here we're asking the central question, who am I? Asking questions that go beyond biological life to a spiritual calling. What are we really here for? We all have a higher purpose in life, and here we ask, how can we best glorify the Creator? How can we launch a love offering to all to share our gifts, our hard work with the world, our contribution to the world? This opens us up to pathways toward the higher parts of the tree, including the sixth sphere. So the sixth sphere is really about free will, our faculty of free will. Free will is the provenance of the sixth sphere, and at the seventh sphere, we start to propose solutions. And at the sixth sphere, we start to actually do something about it, to change our habits so that we can put those solutions into effect. For example, at stage number 51, which is called circumspection, we get a higher point of view. To pursue our new purpose in life, we must um, consult several of the different spheres, our different faculties of consciousness. So as you can see here, if you look at the relationships on the tree, you can see that the sixth sphere is at the apex of a pyramid, with number 8, number 7, number 5, and number 4 at the base. Okay, so number 8 corresponds to logic. 7, like we talked about, imagination and creativity. 5 is about our sense of justice. And 4 is about our sense and understanding of universal law and universal language and universal love. So that's really what circumspection is about. When we're at the sixth sphere, we have this point of view where we have to take advantage of all of our different faculties and kind of you know put them all together to make our best decisions. So we're up at the top, and from up there we can see all around in all directions. So we know what pathways are at our disposal. And sometimes that's the key to pathways is, a lot of times we don't recognize that we have certain choices. And so we don't take them because we don't realize that they're even available for us. So it's important to be able to have circumspection, have a higher perspective on things. Another example at the sixth sphere is number 54. That's called Take the Plunge, which is choosing to face our fears. At this pathway, many people bow out, wimp out, cop out, and sell out. But here we can make our stand, take the plunge, and dive into fear, allowing for spiritual growth. So, that's the important thing is at the sixth sphere, it's not so important that you win or lose or succeed or fail. It's just important that you do it. You try. You stood in the face of fear. You could have bowed out. You could have walked away, but you recognized that this was an important thing that you had to do, and you did it, regardless of, how much you were shaking and quaking and not, and even how poorly you did. You still, after it's over, you still feel good about yourself because you faced one of your fears. You recognize that fear is something that doesn't paralyze you. It doesn't have to paralyze you. Okay, so also finally at the top of the sixth sphere, we encountered stage number 60, which is called Pay to Make Free. Here we recognize that decisions made from emotions often turn out to be rash decisions. The first decision we can make is the decision to pay close attention to what we see is true, not what we want to be true. So by paying close attention, we recognize the truth of the situation, the way we perceive it, and a lot of times that contradicts what we want to be true. So nonetheless, it might be a bitter pill to swallow, but it helps us to make even better decisions and walk pathways we choose, and to walk higher pathways toward the higher self and further our spiritual growth. The pathways at the sixth sphere allow us to keep moving up the tree toward the higher self and prevents us from regressing into the lower spheres. So here we can see, the tree helps us at all other stages, at the stages here at the seventh and sixth sphere, but it also helps at all other stages in life. Hopefully the examples that I provided here at the seventh and sixth sphere will demonstrate at least a little bit how the tree can be a valuable tool that we can use for living our best lives. Please click the link below If you would like to get a free copy of our guide to the 144 fractal faculties or stages of life, spirituality, history, and cosmology annotated. That is the long title there. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, thanks.